Hello, welcome back to Chris's Beer Reviews. How are you? Hope you're doing really well. So this is going to be a beer review video as such, but it's a beer review in a chat. Number 3 in the series, if you can call it a series. I've done beer in the chat a couple of times, but it's been about 4 months since I last did a beer and a chat video. So I thought, well, why not? There's probably some things we can talk about. I've made a note of a couple of things that we'll talk about, or I'll talk about, and you can comment on them. So we'll do that, we'll see how it goes. But like I say, it's the 3rd time I've done it. I enjoyed doing the other 2, but it's been a while since I've done it. So here we are, let's crack on, let's not messing around. The beer we're going to be looking at is actually an alcohol-free beer. It's from Rothaus and it's a Hefeweizen alcohol-free 500ml bottle. This has gone out of date. I've had it so long it has gone past its best before date. Last week I reviewed a Weiss alcohol-free beer, that brand, alcohol-free, and it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I have reviewed it. I'll release it at some point. I've got so many, that's the other thing, I've got so many videos that I need to upload. I'm a bit weird. If I do a video, if I don't release it, or upload it rather, within 20 minutes of doing the video, I'll never release it. I've got at least 8 videos sat on my phone of beers that I've reviewed, and the reviews are just sitting there doing nothing. I don't know why I do that, but if I don't upload it within 10-15 minutes, half hour tops of doing the video, it never gets done. I don't know why I do that. It's a bit weird. So maybe I'll put a poll up, or I'll just list all the videos I've got and you can choose which ones you want. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, a bit strange, but yeah, let's get on with this. Like I say, this has gone past its best before. I've had it so long, I just keep forgetting to review it really, or drink it. And I've not been well recently, so I've been avoiding alcohol, and some of the videos I've released recently have been a little bit oldish, but I've not been at the best of healths. There we go. That looks rather good. Smells rather nice as well. So there it is, in the glass, in the Weiss glass. Loads of carbonation, nice and hazy. Let's have a little sniff. So let's get a bit on the nose, shall we? Smells like a Weizen. Kind of candied orange, coriander, kind of that wheaty vibe. Smells quite pleasant. We'll have a little taste and a slurp. First thing on the list to talk about is, apparently, rumour has it, or apparently rumours, whatever you want to call it, Guinness is now the #1 selling beer in the UK. It's taken over Carlin's slots at #1. Why Carlin is #1 and has been for years is beyond me. Dreadful beer. But Guinness, I get that. I like Guinness. I am partial to a Guinness, and I've drunk quite a bit of Guinness recently. I do enjoy Guinness. I've got the Nitro Surge device, which I criticised when I first bought it, but once I got used to it, it does produce a really good pint, so I really like the Nitro Surge, and I've been using it on lots of other beers as well. It's great with any nitro beer you can use it on. I even used it on John Smith's, so it's a great little device, and I've got loads of use from it. So yeah, it's alright, it's a nice little gadget. But back to Guinness. Yeah, Guinness are #1. Apparently is it 1 in 9 pints now sold in the UK is Guinness, which is epic. I mean, it's a huge brand, isn't it, Guinness? Everywhere you go, if you went around the world and showed people the harp, they'd tell you that it's Guinness, wouldn't they? It's huge. So well done to Guinness on being the #1 selling beer in the UK. And interestingly, Brewdog have had a stab, haven't they, at Guinness by making their stout with the same ABV. They used quite an aggressive marketing campaign, did Brewdog, which didn't go down well. However, it's not a bad beer, not a bad stout. We've got an empty can of it here, the old black cart. I don't actually mind it. However, it's that switched me back onto Guinness, so thanks Brewdog. So I had that and I enjoyed it, but it did make me go back to buying Guinness, and I hadn't bought Guinness in a long time, or drunk Guinness in a long time, and from drinking the Brewdog Black Heart, it switched me back on to Guinness, and now I've always got Guinness in. There's a few different varieties of Guinness up there, the Special Export, the Foreign Extra, the Original. It's kind of switched me back on to all of those, and what's the word I'm looking for? They're good for the channel. shameless that sometimes I do Guinness videos because they get good views. I'm not gonna lie, they do get good views, so they are good for the channel, Guinness videos, and that is sometimes why I do them, just because they're good for the channel. So there you go, bit of honesty. But yeah, Guinness #1, and well done to Guinness. Like I say, I enjoy Guinness. Thanks Brewdog for switching me back onto Guinness. So I wonder how many other people have done that. They bought Brewdog Black Heart and thought, yeah, that's nice, but I haven't tasted a Guinness for ages, and me try Guinness again, and then got back into Guinness and preferred Guinness over the Black Heart. So Brewdog, you might have done Guinness a few favours. I know you tried to take a big chunk out of their pie, but I'm not convinced that's worked too well for Brewdog. But there you go. So that's my first point. So let's have a little taste of the beer, alcohol free. Now, this is nowhere near as good as the Mazel's Weiss alcohol-free beer. I'm just trying to see if I've still got the bottle for that. No, don't think I've thrown that away. I wanted to keep that. That was going in one of my box for the Beers of the Year box. I've thrown it away. I don't believe it. What a shocker. I've thrown that away. It was that one, the Mazel's Weiss alcohol free, and I put that in my Beer of the Year box. I'll have to put the review out. It was just fantastic. Probably one of the best alcohol free beers I've had. This Roughhouse Hefeweizen is nowhere near it. It's quite boring. It's quite bland. I know it's gone past its best before, but it's very watery. It's very weak on flavour. Carbonation's good. It's quite refreshing. It's not bad. It has got the Weizen type flavours to it, but they're just really quite dull. Not very big whatsoever on the flavour. I've got another alcohol-free beer in the fridge that I should have done instead. It was the Schenkerler. I love the Schenkerler smoked beers. They are incredible, and this is their alcohol-free version. Should have done that one instead. So there you go. I'm not going to go into big detail on that. It's a bit moody, to be fair. So what we've got next on the list, this one could be controversial. That's in the news at the moment. The reservoir in Portugal is being searched in the search for Madeleine McCann. So the British police are over there apparently observing that search. So the reservoir is quite close to what's it called? The resort where they were staying. Praia to something. I can't remember the name. So yeah, they are searching that, looking for Madeleine McCann. It goes on and it keeps rolling on, doesn't it? The search for Madeleine McCann. And if it was your child, I suppose you would want the search to continue. And the problem is there's just controversy around it, isn't there? So many different theories and people's opinions and beliefs of what really happened to Madeleine. And when the parents have been implicated as much as they have, sympathy does kind of wane away a little bit for them. So that search is going on. Do I believe Madeleine McCann's alive? I don't think she is. I'd be quite surprised if she's alive. I think she would have quite possibly appeared somewhere by now. I don't think she is. Do the authorities think she is? Who knows? But if there's a possibility that she is in this reservoir, then it needs to be searched. I agree with that. It just divides opinion, doesn't it? Because of so many thoughts and the way people kind of think about the McCanns. Difficult one. But if I was a parent and there's a possibility the body was in there, I'd want it searched. So that I kind of support. I just don't think there's a huge amount of support for the McCanns themselves at the moment, which is probably why it generates good news and people read it and people are interested, because they're waiting for something that's going to implicate the McCanns even further. I think that's generally where a lot of the public are at the moment with it. But for me, I don't know. I kind of have my own ideas. I don't know. It's all a bit odd. But then, you know, years ago when I was a kid, I'm 48, years ago when I was a kid, parents would go out. You'd go to somewhere like, I don't know, say like a Butlins or a resort. Parents would go off to the bar and leave their kids. You know, times are different now. I agree. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that with my kids. I haven't done that with my kids. But it went on, you know. Difficult one. What are your thoughts? Brings me on to another news story that I just don't understand why these things ever get coverage in the news. The whole Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield debacle. Why do people care? Why do people care about two overrated, overpaid celebrities being on a morning TV show that's utter trash and has been for years? The only time I watch that is sometimes on YouTube if Gino D'Acampo is saying innuendos, which he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing with his innuendos when he's making food. He's a very intelligent man, is Gino, but it's funny. And it does make me laugh, even though it's obvious that he's doing it on purpose, but it still makes me laugh. That is about the only time I ever enjoy watching snippets of this morning programme. But Holly and Phil, they queue jumped. That didn't do them any favours, did it? They're saying that they had press cards to go in. What a load of nonsense. Queue up like everybody else. So we had queue gate, didn't we? But Philip's time's done. His brother's inside. No, inside. Was in prison. And good. There's all this story about Philip grooming a runner on the TV show, knowing him since he was 11 years of age. All these things that are going to come out, and then you've got Holly and Phil allegedly falling out. In that sense, who absolutely cares? If there's abuse involved, then that's a different issue, but who actually cares whether Holly and Phil stay together on This Morning or separate? I really don't care. And it's all over everywhere. It's over social medias, and I'm on Facebook and I look on various things, but the pop-up feeds always appear, don't they? I look at lots of things on YouTube, on Facebook, from camper vans because I want to buy one. Trucks I look at, food pages, etc. Car pages, lots of different things. Hardly any beer pages, to be fair. But they always pop up, these stupid pop-ups that you don't want or don't need. And you spend more than 10 seconds on it, and your Facebook or your phone or whatever thinks you want more of it. And there's so many comments of people loving them and supporting them as if they were like their family or busy mates. They don't know these people. They're millionaires. There's nothing wrong with being a millionaire. They've made a successful career from TV. Fair play to them. Got no issues with that. But why do people care so much? Why are people upset that Philip Schofield is not going to be on the TV? I just find it all very strange that people can get that wound up over two celebrities that they've never met. They're not part of your life. They're just part of TV, is what they are. But yeah, people get proper worked up about it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you do get worked up by the whole Holly and Philip, explain to me why. Because I just don't get all this kind of infatuation that people have with the celebrities. There's certainly some celebrities I'd like to meet. There's probably only a couple that I'd like to meet. Sir David Attenborough. I'd love to sit down and have a chat with him. It was his birthday the other day, wasn't it? He turned 97, I think. Happy birthday. I'd like to have a chat with him. Any other celebrities actually? No. Actually, I don't think there is. Sir David Attenborough is about the only one I'd like to have a sit down and a chat with. I don't get it. I don't get the infatuation with celebrities and people getting upset and in tears about it. I just do not understand it. There you go. That's my little rant about Holly and Phil. So football news, as we all know, if you follow football, Man City have won the league. Fair play to them. They're just phenomenal, aren't they, Man City? Arsenal, I did think Arsenal were going to win it, A couple of months ago I was saying I think Arsenal will win the league. Fair play to if they had won the league. I support Spurs. Arsenal and Spurs, as you know, are big rivals. But what I don't do is I don't do hatred in football. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't see the point in hatred in football. I don't hate any other team. Hate is a very strong word. I don't hate other football teams. I just don't get it. When I grew up in London, and where I grew up, you either supported Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, or West Ham. There was a few Liverpool supporters along the way, and we were all still good friends. And we all got on, and we never really had hatred towards each other about the football teams we supported. We had a bit of banter, but some of the hatred that goes on, and the football violence that goes on, and some of the things that get sung in the in the stands. Some are quite amusing, admittedly, and it probably is just a bit of fun. But the actual hatred, where people say, I absolutely hate this team, I hate that team, I hate this person's fans, hate this team's supporters, give it a rest. Absolutely no need. I enjoy the game of football. I enjoy watching football. I think Arsenal have played some incredible football this season. I'm not going to slag them off for that. They've played some great football. Man City are clearly playing great football and probably deserve to win the league with the football they've played. Arsenal have come close. They've done well. Arsenal will probably be there or thereabouts again next season if they strengthen the squad in a couple of places. They could be there, but I do find it amusing that Arsenal fans not long ago were calling for Arteta to be sacked, and now he's the best manager in the world. The fickle world of football, eh? But yeah, I don't do hatred in football. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I enjoy the game. I support Spurs. Do I get the raging hump if they lose? Not really, because life goes on, doesn't it? Really, we've all got things going on in our lives that are far more important. But if football, helps people, then I'm kind of all for that as well. But the hatred side of it, I don't get. That I just don't understand it. There's no need for hatred. It's a game at the end of the day. It is a game. I know you support a club, and that's fine. I support Spurs, but it's still just a game at the end of the day, where people are getting paid the most obscene amounts of money to do it. I don't agree with the money in football. I think it should be capped. I think it's obscene, but it's not the players' fault. If agents and clubs are going to negotiate these fees and salaries, then so be it. If someone offered me £250,000 a week, damn right I'd take it. I mean, who wouldn't? I would. I really would. So it's not always the players' faults, but yeah, some of them do become a bit prima donnas and etc. But most of it isn't their fault, is it? So that's why I don't get about all this hatred in football, because it doesn't affect your life really. You're not earning their salaries, you're not part of that club, you're not paid by the club or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure most of the players, there are some that will kind of have a dislike to other teams, but most of they then go and play together in internationals, don't they? And they play together as a team and chat and laugh and hug each other when they score. But then you've got the fans that completely hate opposing fans. It just doesn't add up. It seems a bit of hypocrisy really, some of it, but it'll always be there, won't it? Hatred in football. I don't agree with it. It shouldn't be there, but there you go. Well done, Man City. And I'd like to see them do the treble. Wouldn't mind seeing them win the FA Cup as well as the Champions League. That would be quite cool. British club doing the treble, no issues with that whatsoever. So good luck to Man City on that little quest. There's a little fact for you. I've had to write this one down. On this day, it's 23rd, whatever the day is today, it's the 23rd of May. On this day in 1785, Benjamin Franklin invented bifocals. What a great little fact. Benjamin Franklin, 1785, I've got it written down here, invented bifocals. As long ago as 1785, bifocals were invented. There you go. Fun fact for you. Apparently, well, not apparent, it's well, certainly on the internet, it's Carlsberg Marsdens have acquired Kronenbourg 1664 from Heineken. It's an interesting acquisition, isn't it, really? Heineken's had Kronenbourg for a long time. Now it's jumping ship or going over to Carlsberg Marsdens. Don't know what the thinking was behind that. I'm not a fan of Kronenbourg 1664. I'm not a fan of the Audi rip-off version of it either. But there you go, yeah, Carlsberg Marsdens have acquired it. Don't know why that happened or how it happened, but they've now taken that from Heineken. Heineken obviously didn't want that brand anymore. Who knows? Never know. So there you go. No, not much more I can say on that. My final point that I wrote down, something for a little bit of fun, and the final part to a beer and a chat, is a dog in Portugal is celebrating in human years, not dog years, its 31st birthday. 31-year-old dog. That's epic. Not many dogs live that. It's a Guinness World Record, so probably the only dog that's ever lived that long that we know of. It's in Portugal. I can't remember the name, breed of the dog. It's a breed I've never heard of, but it looked pretty cool. The dog looked a bit like a Labrador, really. The owner said it's down to it's having a good life, living in a peaceful environment where it's never been on a lead, never been tethered to anything. It gets to roam around the woods and their land, and that's the reason it's lived as long as it has. So 31-year-old dog. There you go. Guinness World Record as the oldest dog known. So there you go. A few things to talk about, a few facts. Anything you want to add to that, anything you want to put in the comments, please put in the comments, and I will aim to reply to every single one of the comments that I can. And there you go. Beer in the chat number 3 done. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye now.